Hello, Virgo. Thank you very much for tuning in. This is your main or your general read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Spellcaster's Tarot by Melanie Marquis, illustrated by Scott Murphy. And for the supportive oracle cards, the Magical Unicorn cards by Doreen Virtue, PhD. Alright, already shuffled. Let's see what we have going on here. This seems to go the whole way through, so. Alright, so actually I'm going to pop out this. Seems to be all about what goes next after that. Okay. Now, when you're going into this time frame, you have the Strength card, and you do have a very prominent energy going into this with the Five of Swords. It's a very defensive, keeping people away. In this situation, yeah, I feel like it's keeping people away, making people back off. I feel like it's kind of like alone time. I'm not really sure. You're more like trying to keep other people away from something. There's a very defensive situation going on here. Like the beginning is all defensive. Something didn't go right. I have this as the bottom of the deck, which means I feel like going into this you're feeling defeated. And the other side is feeling like it worked out, like they pushed it through. The other side has the definite yes, which means they pushed it through. And this is where you already are going into this. And you're holding strong, and you're keeping up appearances in a sense, where you're trying to seem strong. You're trying to not let people know that it bothered you the way it did. But it seems like it really did. It's like you're feeling defeated because the other person got what they wanted and you seem to have been left in the lurch. They got what they wanted, but you didn't. They got what they wanted and it seemed to affect you negatively at the very least. I'm not sure you're in the lurch though, because it seems like you are actively, like you're appearing very strong on the outside, but on the inside you're feeling defeated and you're defensive, which is due to the situation. This other person seeming to push something their way. Like I feel like somebody forced an issue to go their way, and they feel like it was best for everybody. No, they got what they wanted. They got what they wanted. Okay, so they got what they wanted. You feel defeated. You're appearing very strong. You're defensive. Like the overall energy through this, most of this is defensive. And even as the next one is the Nine of Wands. That's somebody who's very. This is somebody who's actually fighting. It's in your line of action, so I feel like you're defending something, like outwardly at this point. Going into this situation, you are feeling it, but then it starts manifesting on the outside. The other person's trying to. They're trying to win your affection or trying to win your approval. I feel like the other side, even though they got what they want, they still want you to be okay with it. And they're trying to explain to you why this, why that, and you're not having it. You're not having it. The Knight of Wands tells me you're not in the mood. You're not impressed. You're not in agreement, and you don't really want to see their way. You just want them to leave you alone because you're still angry about the switch up, because it seems like you were going towards a different goal, and then there was a switch up, and this other person got what they wanted. And you're not happy about it. And they're trying to explain to you why it's fine, and like, even though I got what I wanted and it's not really what you wanted, it still can work out, and you're not having it. You're just not having it, not interested. I feel like you're getting really annoyed at this point. You're really getting angry because not only did they get what they wanted, but now they're trying to force you to be okay with it, and you don't like that. As we keep going forward, someone else. I feel like someone else is trying to help you, because they feel like you're being they feel like you need some help. I don't know what's going on with this. They feel like you're being what? The word isn't coming to me. Oppressed? No, they feel like what? They feel like you're being controlled by your emotions. Somebody's trying to get in here and trying to help you because they see that you're upset and they want this to get better for you. Somebody who cares about you is seeing what's going on and they're trying to get involved and help you because they feel like you're, even though you're really upset, that this can actually, they want this to get better for you. They don't want it to linger any longer than it has to. Somebody's trying to help you. They're trying to understand because they're seeing situations going on, and from the outside it doesn't really register what's happening, I feel. Yeah. So they're thinking you're a little upset and they're not understanding why you're upset completely. So somebody's coming towards you trying to help you, but they also want to understand why you're upset. And when you have the Four of Pentacles, I feel like you're not explaining to them as much. I feel like you're still kind of really angry about it and you don't want to talk about it because it's a done deal. And the more you talk about it, the more it aggravates you. So there's kind of like a block here. Even though somebody's trying to help you because they don't understand, somebody who cares about you, I feel there's a block because you're really, at this point, it's been going on for a little while and you're really fed up with the whole situation. But even though that's being said and you don't really want to talk about the situation that's aggravating you, I do feel like you're appreciative of the person. Guys, you're appreciative of the person reaching out to you. So this all has to do with the situation in the beginning. Somebody else, I feel like it was a switch up near the end. Like you'd been working towards a goal and then it got switched at the end and that really upset you. The other person got what they wanted. A lot of work you put into the situation went to waste and you're upset because of all that work you put into it that had no benefit, had no outcome. And you were strong in the beginning, but when they try to push towards you, trying to say how this is the best decision and all this other stuff, it really aggravates you because of all the effort you put into it. Then they just changed it on you at the end, and you're really not interested in seeing their way. You're just kind of like, the decision was made. It's fine. Just get out of my face. I feel like you're a bit defensive about it because you're very unhappy that you put all this effort into it and it's just being dropped. It just got dropped and they just took a different direction. Even though they're trying to explain it, you don't want anything to do with that. Somebody else tries to come toward you, somebody who cares, and they're trying to understand why you're upset. You don't want anything to do with that either. You're just like, this. It's made, it's done. The decision's done. Let's just let it go. And I feel like you don't want to talk about it. You're just fed up with the whole situation. You're ready for it to move on. Okay. But you are appreciative of this person coming towards you. I feel like what's going on next is like the result of this person caring. Because they know you're upset, and I feel like they're looking at you like, if they're upset, there's a reason you're upset. And I feel like they're realizing that you don't want to talk about it, and that's how it is. They seem to be okay with that. They still want to know what's going on, but I feel like they're not getting the answers they want. But everything seems fine in that sense because I feel like you're moving towards healing and moving on. And you're moving on in a different direction. There's other things you've been working on at the same time, and you're just concentrating on those. And I feel like it has to do with this person. There's some things you're working on with this person, and they don't understand what happened with the last situation, but the fact that you're moving on and doing things with that, things like you're moving forward in that. Like you got the water and you got the the Knight of Cups. The two of those together, water to me is emotion. In this deck, it gets a little literal about literally eating or drinking more water and eating vegetables. I think it says something about vegetables, fruits and vegetables. But to me, it's more about emotions, and your emotions are getting back in line. So this person is helping you. You're concentrating on things you're doing with this person that you trust more. And things you already have. I feel like you already have things you're working on with them. And you're concentrating on that. You're feeling a lot better. And as that goes on, you are literally letting that last situation go. Because you're concentrating on this other stuff The last situation, I feel like you're looking at it like a done deal, and you're closing the book on it. You're literally closing the book on it is what it feels like. You're feeling like the person you're working with now, you feel like has your back. You're feeling the person you're working with now won't do the same thing to you. So you're feeling a lot more comfortable. And the last situation's gone. Then this situation, you're pushing this forward. You're putting more effort in here. I know the world is here, but I feel like that's talking about the last situation is finished. And you're concentrating more on this other situation with the person that you actually get along with and seems to be more concerned about your feelings and how things work and what you actually do. And they're letting, whatever the problem was, I feel like there are questions. I feel like they'd still like to know what went wrong, but I also feel like they're kind of letting it go. I'm seeing the imagine here for them. I feel like they're looking more at what you're doing and how you're working with them. And they're just like, they realize it's a done issue. They're also letting it fade into the past. And they're seeing it, even though they don't really know what happened, they're just looking at it in the sense of like, if you were upset, there's a good reason why you were upset. And that if you don't want to talk about it anymore, it's just, it seems like they're taking it as if it's a personality clash. I don't really feel like that's what happened, but that's how they're taking it. And they're just moving on from it. It seems like they're looking at the last situation like it's a personality clash. Even though there's a good reason why you're upset because all that work was lost. But they're just going to move on from it and let it go because you don't really want to talk about it. So they're not going to get answers. That's just how they're going to seem to take it. So I feel like actually for this reading, you might want to be aware of that. This person, because I feel like they're in your court and they very much care about you. If you don't want to explain it to them, that's fine. That's definitely your business, clearly. But they're going to take it as if it was a personality conflict between you and that other person. You might want to think about that just because I don't feel like that's fair that it's looked at as a personality conflict when it was actually work you had done that was pretty much thrown away. And all that effort going to waste is what's really upsetting you, and that makes sense. And I feel like that would be very important to this person to know that, because wasted effort like that's wasted effort is wasted money. Because I feel like this is a business thing for most of you. Not all of you, but most of you. So I feel like that's very important to this person. That you did all this effort and it got thrown to the side. I feel like it's still going to end either way. I feel like when you're going to talk, when you feel like you're kind of, I feel like it might be more defensive energy still. You don't want to talk about it. You don't want somebody to tell you, oh, it worked out for the best in the long run. You don't want to hear that. You put all this energy and effort into this, and you want that acknowledged, and you want that to be like, you want somebody to say, you know what, that's not fair, that's not right, that you put in all this effort, and it went to nothing. Like, that means something. You don't want to hear, it's better this way. You don't want to hear that at all, because still that effort you did, that was something. And I feel like this person will understand that more, and they'll see why you're upset. And I feel like that'll go to your benefit if you tell that. You don't have to, and the way this is going, it doesn't look like you really want to. But if you don't tell them what happened and explain like all that wasted effort, they're going to think it was a personality conflict. And I just don't think that's fair, because there's a real reason why you're upset. Are you done? Okay. All right, so that's the general read. Thank you very much for watching. Of course, if you would like a reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.